Hi, thanks for your order. I'd like to take a moment before I start working on your order to explain a few things. Please don't be concerned. This time that I'm spending and explaining is not part of the actual time you're paying for your review. First, I'd like to mention in advance, I'm located on a busy street. I do have a special noise canceling microphone, but I do apologize in advance if you're hearing any background noise. I'm doing the best I can, and I hope my dog Cutesy doesn't start barking. Two, I'd like to mention when it comes to these short types of reviews of 5 or 10 minutes, even 15 minutes, it's usually pretty difficult for me to do any serious reading in terms of the text. I actually do have another gig. My main gig is as a web text writer or a web text editor. The reason I do these review gigs is so I can meet the owners of websites and actually work on their text in terms of correcting it for spelling errors, grammatical errors, punctuation errors, syntax, things like that. So if I see any major things going on your page, of course I'll be happy to tell you, but I won't be able to really read and focus on the actual text in terms of that kind of editing. Let me know if you're interested in that type of service. Last, I'd like to mention, I'm going in completely cold, or as cold as possible, on your website. I haven't looked at it before, I haven't seen it before, and I don't know anything about it except for the name of your site that you told me and whatever other information you've given me, if you've given me anything else. So you're going to be seeing my true and real reaction for the first time. Well, that's a bummer. I just did the whole recording and the microphone was on mute, so you couldn't hear me, so I've got to do it all again. Unfortunately, that means that you didn't really hear my first impression. I'm going to do my best to recreate it. My first impression when I got on your site was, why is this picture not showing the product? Why is there so much empty space here? And why is this picture so small? And what is it that you're selling? So, and I kept repeating that through the whole thing, which is like, show me what it is. And the other thing I commented, and I went on to comment more about it, is that this "and" shouldn't be capitalized, and you have other text which I'm going to point out to you that have some issues. I'm a writer, and the reason I do these gigs isn't so much for these gigs, but because these gigs introduce me to people who have websites and Facebook pages that have text on them that need to be reworked or reworded or rewritten. So I'm always looking at the text from a writer's point of view. So keep that in mind. So as you see, I'm up here and my eye hasn't even fallen down yet to go scrolling down the page. Where am I? Oh, this is community. Sorry. This is where I ended the last time, so you know how far I went. Let me get back to home. So it doesn't really matter because the picture is the same. So as you can see, oh, let me get to welcome. Maybe that's the page I should be on. Okay. That doesn't matter either, because what I was saying was that all this blank space here is a waste of space and should be used better to show what the product is. I don't know why this isn't scrolling up now. It's kind of weird. Let's see. This is weird. Okay, so, oh, here we go. Yeah, again, this should be used better. I went to your photo page and I suggested that you use the photo section to show as many pictures as you can of the actual t-shirt itself. Use this area, because what's missing on the site is a really clear picture of the thing on the shirt. And it's so basic. It's such a major part of it. It really is a serious lack of not having that anywhere clear and available. So the other thing I did, so now I'm scrolling down and I notice there's some issues with the text, and I think it's just got to do with the approach. I feel like it's a little dry, and I feel like you need to make a decision if you want to reveal that you are you and I, like I created the ostentation, you know, or do you want to say we? Do you want to present yourself as being more of a company or as an individual selling t-shirts? Personally, I think you might be better off doing it as a company, but that's me. The other thing I mentioned is it's unclear. First of all, this doesn't make sense. This picture, if this is you, doesn't really make sense as to why you would be taking a picture of yourself in the shirt. The other issue with this is it's not really clear if this is you, Mr. Henry Billingsley Jr. or Solomon. If this is you, then you should have your heading, your name under here or whatever to identify yourself. And why do I say that? Because when I went to the shopping page, I was brought to this person, and now I'm thinking, is this the Mr. Solomon Henry Billingsley? So that's not clear. And then I scroll down, and then I see this guy, and I'm thinking maybe that's Henry Billingsley Solomon. So I think it should be clear. But back to the welcome page. Let's see. So now as I scroll down below, not knowing who this is, and again, I would want to really take a serious time to look at the text and really work on it. But as you know, I'm not taking the time to do that now. But this one I had to mention that all of these caps, to me, it gives it a very cheap look. And I'll tell you why. It looks automatic. If you want to do a sentence with caps, that's fine, but certain words can't be capitalized. For example, the A, that should never be capitalized. The T of the should never be capitalized. Here's another one. Maybe even the on. Maybe the O of the of. I have to look it all up. The ins, for sure. These need to be out. The A and the F. There's certain correct and incorrect ways of capitalizing. And you've got it incorrect. And to me, that gives the whole project a cheapy kind of a look, because it's like the person who is selling doesn't really even know how to make sure that that looks right. It just looks like, I don't know, just cheesy. So I would definitely work on that. And I'm not really focusing on reading all of this stuff here because I don't really have the time to do that. But, you know, again, I do see that you have text, so make sure it's very clear. And this is kind of dark, so, oh, I see when you're scrolling over it. Okay. So now, going to the actual shop page again. And as you can see, there's really no I mean, maybe it's on the video. I'm not going to take the time to watch the video. But when I see you have a lot of text here too, so again, you need to make sure it's well written. So I'm seeing, now I see there's another woman, so maybe she's Mrs. Billingsley, I don't know. But there's really, to me, no excuse for the fact that there's not a clear image of the t-shirt itself. So if you do nothing else, get that done. You can't see, I can't click on it. So that's why I'm saying that you should use the photo section for that, so that you can really see the clear details, and put additional photos too, like, I don't know, 100% cotton, put the tag, you know. And I think also the thing that's maybe missing from the text itself, and I have to take a better look at it, but it seems that maybe you're not really directing the text to the audience. You want to identify who is your audience. I used to work for Solomon Brothers and Solomon Smith Barney as a special events planner way back in the 90s. And I don't really even understand who you're directing this t-shirt to. You need to focus on your client and identify the client a little bit better. So it's more about them and how they benefit from the t-shirt, as opposed to maybe you and your feeling about it. It needs a little work, maybe needs to be done. But what's not coming across very clearly is what the t-shirt is and who it's for and why they should buy it for $30. You know, it's not like it's cheap. So, and I guess that's it for now. I know there's a couple of more minutes, but because I had already gone on the site, I didn't have to really fuss through it anymore. And like you said, there's not a whole lot to see. So maybe I'll let you just go into what I said. And oh yeah, another thing I mentioned was I would remove, like, if you don't have to keep these things on this list that are not pertinent to you, get them out. Like, so if you're not going to do anything on community, see if you can remove it. If you're not going to do anything with posts, remove it. Consider using your about page a little bit better, you know, get some of that information on the about page. Um, Anyway, hope this helps. Let me know. And technically, I still owe you another minute, but you know, I can continue giving you feedback via messaging if you feel you need any more. And if you're interested in having me help you with anything to do with the text or the writing, just as for your information, my website is my username with a com at the end, so you can look that up and see what I do there. And if you want, you can contact me off of this platform and we can work together on that. Okay, thank you very much, and I hope you found some helpful hints. Let me know.